ultimately what happens is with the saints, their heart is so filled with grace, there's so little water still impacted in there, or so little dirt, so little egoism impacted in there, that it continues to grow with grace. There's more and more and more, and eventually it fills, and what happens? It overflows. That's ultimately what a saint is. A saint is one who's been filled with so much grace that that grace overflows to the entire world. That's ultimately what we are seeking to become in the Christian life. And this is one who has been filled with the living water, which again, they will never thirst, because as they experience that grace, the grace doesn't deplete, the grace remains. This is the mystery of God. God's uncreated grace, as it's extended out to all of his people, it doesn't lessen in God, it stays the same. It's always an infinite source. And so we never feel depleted, and we never thirst. We never thirst after righteousness. We never thirst in loneliness. Rather, we're fulfilled in Christ. That's ultimately what a saint is. Now, normally the demonstration ends there. I will end the physical demonstration, but someone, Dr. Christopher Lockwood, recently gave me an image that said, this isn't finished. This actually isn't finished, because ultimately what really happens is that when Christ really comes in his fullness within the heart, then he makes a throne of the heart. And it's not just filled with grace, but Christ's very presence fills it, so that just like he did at the wedding of Cana, he turns that water into wine. And suddenly there's a sweetness to life. This is why with the saints, even in the midst of turmoil and suffering, they have utter sweetness and beauty all the time. And that sweetness flows to other people. That's why St. Seraphim of Sarov says, acquire the spirit of peace and thousands around you will be saved. Others get in their presence and they can smell the fragrance of that wine, and they want it themselves. And they say, how can I do the same thing? So this is ultimately how the grace of God works with us. When we pour the dirt out, if all we did was pour the dirt out, there's nothing salvific about that, because we haven't yet brought grace into the heart. Christ needs to bring grace. So ultimately, it's the water, it's the grace that saves. But the efforts of man are a necessary part of this, because if man does nothing, then he's going to be so filled with dirt, there's no room for water to begin with. That's where the efforts of man and the efforts of God meet. That's synergy. It's not the works of man that save him, but his participation in a Christian life with the commandments of God are what make a heart capable of receiving grace in the first place. And the saints are those who, again, have emptied out their hearts of egoism so much that it's just filled with the grace of God, so it overflows and the water becomes wine. So I pray that this demonstration was helpful to you. In the words of the great saint of Romania, Elder Cleopa of Siastria, may heaven consume you.